Anthropic aims to demystify AI black boxes by 2027. Elon Musk's lawsuit defends the use of deep fakes in political campaigns. Has Microsoft Copilot flatlined? And Google abandons earlier versions of its Nest intelligent thermostat. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei has announced a bold plan to make the inner workings of AI models significantly more transparent by 2027. The initiative targets one of the biggest unsolved problems in artificial intelligence, the black box mystery of how models reach their conclusions. In a recent essay, Amodei stressed that while today's AI models like Claude and GPT-4 achieve remarkable results, researchers still have only an extremely limited understanding of why these systems behave the way they do. Anthropic is investing heavily in new interpretability research aimed at identifying internal neuron clusters that correspond to understandable concepts. Amodei, who founded Anthropic to develop safe AI, is concerned about the possibility of reaching artificial general intelligence without understanding how the models work. He said, "I'm very concerned about deploying such systems without a better handle on interpretability. These systems will be absolutely central to the economy, technology, and national security, and will be capable of so much autonomy that I consider it basically unacceptable for humanity to be totally ignorant of how they work." And Anthropic has walked the talk on this, developing what they have termed mechanistic interpretability, a field that aims to open the black box of AI models and understand why they make the decisions they do. There have been modest but important successes. Anthropic researchers were able to isolate and identify a neural unit in a large language model that specifically tracked where it dealt with the concept of what cities were in what states. It seems like a really tiny breakthrough, but it offers the promise that AI behaviors might eventually be mapped to individual neurons or circuits. Amodei says, "Our hope is to build a world where we can say with a very high confidence what a model is thinking, reducing the risk of dangerous behaviors." The push comes amid growing concerns about the reliability and safety of powerful AI systems. Without clear interpretability, it's necessary and difficult to predict or control how models might act in unexpected situations, especially as they are increasingly deployed in healthcare, finance, and yes, even national security. Anthropic is lobbying for governments to insist on other AI model developers contributing to this knowledge and the overall safety of AI models in general. And while other companies rejected the recent California legislation aimed at AI safety, Anthropic offered ways to improve the legislation. So if they succeed, they could help set new industry standards for AI safety and transparency. Better interpretability would not only help catch risks earlier, but could also build broader public trust in advanced AI systems at a time when skepticism is on the rise. Elon Musk's social media platform X, formerly Twitter, has filed a federal lawsuit challenging Minnesota's 2023 law that criminalizes the use of AI-generated deep fakes intended to influence elections or harm candidates. The law imposes penalties, including jail time, for creating and distributing realistic fake media within specific election-related timeframes. X argues that the law violates First Amendment rights and is preempted by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which shields social media platforms from liability for user content. The company contends that the statute could criminalize harmless content, including satire, and would erode free speech rather than defend democracy. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison's office, responsible for defending the law, is reviewing the lawsuit. The law's author, Democratic Senator Erin May Quaid, criticized Musk for attempting to manipulate political outcomes and dismissed his lawsuit as frivolous. The Minnesota law has already faced legal challenges from individuals who publish AI-generated political parodies, but a judge has denied their request to suspend the law. Proponents of the legislation argue that it requires intent to injure, a candidate, or influence an election result. And it has a very precise definition of deepfakes as material so realistic that a reasonable person would believe it's real and generated by artificial intelligence or other technical means. Still, some legal experts suggest the law may be struck down due to constitutional concerns and the absence of legal exceptions for false political speech. In Canada, we've seen some examples of deepfakes used in the election, in fake news stories, and even what we suspect is a video deepfake of at least one candidate. When that was circulated less than 48 hours before the election, it becomes next to impossible to absolutely prove it's fake and to get social media companies to take any action. Given past examples with things like robocalls, we know that every technology will be abused in elections. Without any effective penalties for doing this, that's almost a certainty. Microsoft's Copilot was supposed to revolutionize workplace productivity. Instead, 6 months after launch, adoption rates are raising alarms, and some critics, including Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, are calling it Clippy 2.0. Despite massive investment and rollout across Microsoft's Office suite, early adoption has been underwhelming. Microsoft knows this, seeing that usage of Copilot rose to about 20 million people worldwide and then flatlined. And although for some companies 20 million users would be a real accomplishment, in the context of the overall numbers of Microsoft users versus the billions and billions of dollars invested, this is a failure of proportions that does allow comparison with the doomed Clippy app. Clippy, for those who don't know, was supposed to be the latest in interactive help systems, and I'm not sure it was even bad for its time, but it was despised, scorned, ridiculed, and unused, and Microsoft finally dropped it, making it the icon of failed features. According to the reporting from XDA developers, Microsoft's Copilot weekly user base is only 5% of the number of people who use ChatGPT, and it's not increasing. If there are approximately 1.5 billion Windows users worldwide, it means that just over 1% of them are using Copilot, and it's a tool that's now a Windows default app. Adding to the criticism, when you look at how Copilot has been delivered to its customers, it's disappointing. It just doesn't work. It doesn't deliver any level of accuracy. Copilot is more like Clippy 2.0. And Benioff, besides doing the burn, also pointed to Gartner research that warns Copilot may be inadvertently exposing sensitive company data, compounding frustration among early adopters. The comparison to Clippy, that much maligned animated paperclip assistant from Microsoft's past, may gloss over a deeper concern. Users have reported that Copilot often struggles to understand context, offers generic advice, sometimes generates inaccurate information, and instead of boosting productivity, for some at least, it's perceived as just an intrusive add-on. Microsoft has already had to back down on its Copilot key and allow users to put it to other uses, including reinstating its original function as a menu key. So, Microsoft still has a chance to turn things around by refining Copilot's utility and improving its integration, but the company has placed a heavy bet on Copilot as the future of workplace, and that hinges on broader adoption. If businesses and users continue to see Copilot as a cost without clear benefit, Microsoft might really find itself reliving another version of the Clippy saga, only this time at a much higher financial and reputational cost. Google has announced that it will end software support for the first and second generation Nest Learning thermostats, as well as the 2014 European model, effective October 25, 2025. After this date, users will lose remote control capabilities via the Google Home and Nest apps, as well as Google Assistant integration. However, the thermostats will function locally, allowing manual adjustments directly on the device. Google is offering discounts on newer thermostat models. In the US, customers can receive $130 off on the fourth generation Nest Learning thermostat, while Canadian users are eligible for a $160 discount. European users are being offered a 50% discount on the Tado Smart Thermostat X, as Google has no plans to release additional Nest thermostats in Europe due to the region's diverse heating systems. The move underscores the challenges associated with the longevity of smart home devices as companies phase out support for older hardware. And while it's a minor thing, earlier experiences have kept me, at least, from moving ahead with integrating my home with Google Smart Home devices, as I'm always worried about them dropping a product. So I'm kind of glad that I kept the thermostat, which was included with my furnace upgrade, which now has all the features of the Nest model I would have paid more to install. I wonder how many others have held back on new developments from Google because of its reputation for killing off programs. Love to hear from you. And that's our show. You can reach me at editorial@technewsday.ca or on LinkedIn, many of you have, or on YouTube just under the video. And if you want to support the show, why not go to buymeacoffee.com/tech-podcast and help keep us afloat. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a marvelous Monday. And if you live in Canada and you haven't voted yet, whoever you want to support, why not get out there and vote?